All right, it's all in within. It is April 12th, and today we are going to go over a great book called Non-Negotiable. Uh, 10 years incarcerated, creating the unbreakable mindset. And I'm just going to go over a few things out of the book, and then we're going to do our torch passing. We're just going to pass the torch, talk about it, read a little more, torch pass, and that's how it's going to go. So I need to throw my glasses on because I'm blind. All right. Our true purpose, lighting the path to alignment. And okay, in terms of the path I want you to take for the purposes of this book, it's aligned with these 5 principles: purpose over pleasure, acquire what you admire, habitual construction, power of gratitude, and personify the teaching. Now, all of these are amazing. And I know Wes Watson had time to put together this list of the 5 things that were most important to him. So let me say them again: purpose over pleasure. When you choose your purpose over anything pleasurable, you excel. Acquire what you admire. That is self-image. Creating a self-image and then heading in the direction of creating that self-image. Habitual construction, repetition, doing things over and over again, power of gratitude. I think that's what got me out of bed this morning because I slept in a little bit, and I noticed an ungrateful thought, and I said, change that up right now. I started thinking in a more grateful direction, and I got up. And to personify the teaching, and that's what we do here. I mean, we all have unique skills, talents, wisdom, knowledge, and we torch pass it. We let each other's light shine in here. And that's what's beautiful about what we got. All right, let me read this paragraph here. I started off wanting to just create a certain body, a certain look, so that I was one of the hardest motherfuckers on the prison yard. Through pure physical presence and conduct, I would secure my spot as a leader in the most vicious California prisons. As I was developing my external aesthetics, I was just called to my higher purpose through self-help books that I was gravitating towards while on my personal development journey. I kept finding the sting through poignant as fuck quotes. Quotes are known as wisdom of the ages, and they stuck to me as such. My vision began getting very clear, and I saw myself constructing and evolving. So there's another great little bit here, but let's go around the room and talk about these 5 principles: purpose over pleasure, acquire what you admire, habitual construction, power of gratitude, and personifying the teaching. I will go around in order. Patrick is first. What you got on this?
Purpose over pleasure is, I would say it's the most important thing because it's the hardest thing. Because you're always trying to, a human being always wants to seek pleasure. And I just, the work that goes into this and the purpose for you being here is to create the best lifestyle you can create on earth. It's you're here to create the best lifestyle and to give that away, to show people what can be done with a life. and not to gravitate to a poisonous lifestyle or poisonous thoughts, negative thoughts. And it really it's a true fact when like how you say, Aaron, going towards the light or the darkness and having that purpose to show people to go towards the light. And I'm not a religious man by any means at all, really. I'm really not, but to be involved with spirit and to be involved with just good, just just being good and do good things and not poisonous things. So living for purpose and giving that out is a for sure. And to learn that is a lot. I can't stress this enough, the work that goes into this. This is a constant, because you slip back and it's a constant. You're consistently working on this. It's just the way a human being is constructed, right? It's just the way we're constructed. We react and we feel and we do all this, but to change your mindset into positive transformation is just an everyday, every moment thing. And it's so easy to go backwards. It's the easiest thing. The easiest thing is to go backwards. The easiest thing is to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy to go. It's so easy to go, whatever, it's the actions that are bad are so easy. They're so pathetically easy. It's ridiculous. So it's like that challenge is I like the challenge of doing good and doing hard things. I like that. I just
Absolutely.
and from Wes Watson, whatever people say about the guy, whatever it is, whatever, he's very disciplined. I just look at his discipline. Done. He doesn't drink 17 years. Doesn't drink 17 years up at 245.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's hardcore.
17 years, not 17 months. Okay. Not 17 fucking years, you guys. Right.
Yeah.
So the guy's disciplined. Boom, done, stamp. I listen to whatever else he's got going on. Who cares? Who cares? Because his discipline gave him the lifestyle. He's got a beautiful family. So his purpose, his purpose is to give that. And look what he's done. He's given that all to those beautiful babies and his wife. Gave everything to them. He said, you know what? He said, if I walk outside right now, there's something happens to me, they're taken care of for the rest of their life. Purpose.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
So
leaving his legacy. Yeah. He said that he worked on his purpose so much that his purpose is his pleasure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I look at, guys. That's what I got for now.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Brandon, what you got? Got something going on in that phone.
Well, I will share quickly an interesting thing, right? I don't know if you remember my Instagram stories post a few days ago that showed all those dead fish washing in, but there was a bunch of dead fish we saw that washed in from the ocean, like a ton, when we were on our run a few days ago, right? And because I follow also Panama News Channel, right, in Panama as well, and also in Colombia, but on the Panama side, on the Caribbean side, also, bunch of dead fish just washed in today. So I was just looking at that, like, holy moly, that's insane, right? That's a biblical proportion. Anyway, purpose over, yeah. So interesting stuff. Maybe yeah, maybe we can start to take some ecological concern into some of our tough guy pioneering, and resetting of the world with discipline and true, honest care for ourselves, others, and nature, maybe. Anyway, yeah, acquiring what you admire, and the habitual construction, the power of gratitude, I find is, I respect myself much more when I'm super grateful, and I think the realest way to be that is between you and God. And I think it just takes 10 seconds to get on your knee bones, you know what I mean, and on your prayer bones, and stay in touch and communicate your love and appreciation. And I think if you can do that multiple times a day, you're gonna feel better about yourself and the way that you're conducting yourself in the eyes of God, and I would say that I kind of truly feel for people who don't believe in God or haven't had those experiences where they know in God, and stuff like that. Like, I think of certain people, some in their 60s and 70s. Yesterday, I was thinking a lot about this actually. Where you're 60 and you're 70, and you could just tell that it's a rotten piece of. They never turned their life around. You know what I mean? They never, and they're 60 and they're 70, and now they're facing their deathbed soon, and they're just gonna go ahead and ride out. And it's just like, whoa, man, you are not gonna start turning the shit around now, like even now, like whoa, you know what I mean? And when you intensely know certain ones and their stories, and you're just like, whoa, man, this person's telling lies at that age. This person's being deceiving people at that age. It's just like, wow, I'm so grateful.
Habitual construction of a shitty person could also happen too. Right?
Totally. But I mean, if it can happen to anyone, what is that? You know what I mean? Did they make too many selfish decisions at a young age and they just never came into anyone who corrected their course? You know what I mean? Like, what is the mathematics there? You know what I mean? Or they just pit black hole piece of shit like I think they are. You almost want to give them some credit somewhere. Like what? Like you want to have some sort of like excuse for them or whatever. And I think a lot of it is just it's on them. It's just straight up on them. And being someone, I guess, who's not a sloth,
Yeah.
like swamp creature, I don't understand how that ever happens. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't get it. And
Man, because they're
and
victims.
in that, you gotta just be super grateful it didn't happen to you, right?
Right.
And so, because I mean, living a lie and getting hit with lies and having to deal with these people is one thing, but the worst thing that could happen to you is you become one of them, isn't it? You know what I mean? Is you get stuck there, right? So, I just really appreciate my journey. I really appreciate God. I really appreciate every single person who embarks on self-development and answers that call from above is really what it is. You answer that call from above and you be a good person and you be valiant, you know what I mean? Or you don't answer that call and you hate yourself and you hate everyone around you. And every time you look in the mirror, and definitely every time you look at one of us, you suffer that fact that you didn't answer the call. So, I would say answer the call. Let's make it 6 things. Then purpose over, then all that other stuff kind of falls under that almost. As I'm just thinking, and I really appreciate even more so the people in this room who want to put an immense amount of dedication every single day before the world is awake, to personify this teaching and put your dues in and put your time in and your study time in and not just pop up on my selling me some shit you know what I mean? Just a deception. Just jumping into the deception. The easy deception or the hard reality. You know what I mean? It's just like I really appreciate everybody who's hard enough to grab this hard reality. I really, really do, because And I'm really thankful that I walked the path, because I'm on the polar other side. Like, I hate these. I don't hate. I'm not gonna be aware of the vibration chart and everything I've learned. But I feel tons of sadness when it comes to these people that didn't answer the call. Torch passed.
Bam, bam. That's good, man. I use this for one of my bookmarks, which is the vibration chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. To just this is one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really good. Good stuff though, for sure. Yeah. Who's up next here? Aaron. She got on the 5 principles there. Wes Watson's 5 principles you live by. Your sound's off. I don't know if you know that. There you go.
So personify the teaching is a big one for me. I'm not gonna. If somebody wants to, ask me about what I do, or, my dailies, I'll let them know, right? But I'm not gonna come up to people and be like, "Hey, you gotta do this and that," because when you do that, you're probably gonna turn the person off anyway. But if they see you just doing your thing in your element, sticking to your grind, doing difficult things, and pulling them off, personifying it yourself, then they're like, oh, well, how do you do that? Or they'll ask about it, right? They're more likely to ask. So I really think the only true way is to just lead by example and personify the teaching. And then those who really want it will, seek you out, or will seek out, ways to be like you and stuff. So, and I have that too. I know somebody that, like, since they've been seeing me kind of level up or whatever, they've been trying to do it too, but they won't ask me about it. But they'll kind of like compare, their stuff to mine, So it's kind of cool, interesting. And like I said, I got my best buddy and a really close friend on a fitness path. So, and that was all just personifying the teaching, and they asked about it. And I didn't push it on them at all. So, just great, And then the purpose over pleasure, you definitely have to have some pleasure. It's nice to, take a little time off to kind of just, be and stuff, whatever it may be, as long as that pleasure doesn't hinder your purpose, right? Doesn't
Right.
encroach on your purpose.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy, but the purpose is the pleasure.
It is.
You get to a point where the purpose is the pleasure. And I'll tell you, I just want to touch on what Brandon said quickly. I'll just say it quick. I'm finding, and I'm not big on this, you guys know me. You guys know me, but having empathy for the people that have never found it.
Yeah.
Because I was there, and it's like, fuck, man. I have empathy for that person that is fucked up. It's actually because it's a true sadness. I'm letting go. I'm working on letting go of the hate towards it, because it's sad. It's more sad than anything. Like the empathy I have for seeing somebody that hasn't been able to see it or catch it. I call it almost a catch. Like you catch it, right? And then you're like, oh wow, like you get this. This is a gift. This isn't like. So yeah, all I'm going to say is I have some empathy, and I don't have much. I score very low in the empathy empathy department, but I do. I'm finding that having some of that is healthy.
Yeah.
They're miserable. Those people are miserable inside, and
Yeah.
they're running from that right? And then it's just they take it out on their external world, their people, blah blah blah, and it's just yeah, they don't know how to. They don't have the mental capacity to see it, to take a step back and like, oh shit, man, you know, some people. This
And
is
they
this
end
is
up
the
doing
shit kicker of it all. It's like some people have this personality where they'll never, ever, ever do any inner work at all, no matter, And no
Like they
offense
don't
to
know.
ladies, but a lot of women are like that, you know? They don't,
Yeah.
and I'm not being sexist or anything, but I just see that a lot of women they don't want to look inside. And then you could tell when, well, I'll just say anybody, you can tell when a person has done some work, you know, just, just, just,
Mhm.
just say a few sentences to them and you can tell, right? Is it introspective type of talking, or is it, oh, this world is pissing me off, it's in the way kind of thing,
Victim.
right?
Victim.
The princess
Victim.
mentality, as I like to say, it's running rampant on the streets right now, man. Everybody's super entitled,
Ugh.
put no
and
work
they end
in, but
up
I
doing
I deserve everything.
Yeah.
they
It's
end
so
up doing
ungrateful to
horrible
feel
things.
entitled like that, you know?
And
Yeah.
they end
Oh,
up doing horrible things. They end up
Yes.
doing horrible things, man. And then
but
they do
you
one
gotta
little thing
understand.
before they know it. 3 years later, they're doing horrible things and they're justifying it in some crazy weird way. You know,
You gotta
Right.
understand.
Uh,
They don't even know though. That's where I'm finding the empathy. Is they
oh,
don't know. They don't know. They literally don't
Exactly.
know.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have the capacity,
They don't, or
there's no
something is.
the
awareness.
consciousness.
It's a fucking vault. It's a vault that there's no combination. That's how I
holy
look at it. I'm like, that
dude.
person has a vault and does not have the combination. I have empathy. Fuck. That's so. I don't know where I found this, but I found it because I was a hateful fucker with it. But now I'm like, man, they're locked up. That's sad. Wow. It's like I look
It's
at it
so
being.
confusing. So like sometimes it seems like
Personal prison.
they know exactly what they're doing, but then I feel you. I hear that when you say they don't know. I hear
Yeah.
that. Like, but in my case, it's just like, no, this bitch knows exactly what she's doing. And a couple, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there's a part of her that starts to believe her own lie, it looks like. And she even tries to, or she'll even try to tell it to me. And it's just like, are you really trying to do that? Like, I mean, are you kidding me? No, I was there. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's just
She's
anyway.
she's pissed off she hasn't found the key to the fucking vault yet. She's still
Yeah,
looking.
huh?
Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, yeah,
I'd be
huh?
fucking pissed off too if I fucking locked up all my fucking real emotions in a vault and I couldn't get in there. Burn this
Man,
fucker
I mean,
down.
I'm telling you, it's unlocking something for me. What AK was
Oh,
saying about the
that gives me
capacity, man.
fucking.
Fuck.
Oh, that's fucking nasty, bro. That is nasty.
Just hearing it from someone else, that capacity remark, and then the
Oh,
they don't know remark. Just hearing that, and then definitely it does all stem from they don't have the combination and they're looking for it and they're losing their mind and they feel like that's interesting.
I
That's
think
so
it
interesting.
They
helps. I think it
internalize
helps
their own
by
negativity
yeah.
and justify it.
wow. You know what it's like when you go to open a lock and you don't hit the number and you pull the thing and it doesn't open. You're like, fuck.
And that's what they are. That's what they're doing.
Well, Kevin, you're up.
Yeah, Kevin's up. Fuck.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think you can find some real peace within yourself when you realize that there's like how do you say it? I don't think not everything out there is evil. There is good. Not everything out there is,
Absolutely.
the way that maybe you see it or we see it.
For
There's
sure.
like perspective is like probably like my most top favorite thing to think about. And no matter what situation, I always try to look at some sort of perspective on it. And if, you know, if everything's negative and everything's shit, you have to find that, like, change your perspective on just that one thing, you know. Maybe there's this, like, exactly what, you know, what was just said there. But I think in any situation, when you look at anyone, there's always going to be some sort of good in there, you know, and it hasn't been found. It's just, it all comes down to, yeah, fuck. I mean, I'm not going to say it anymore. It's right there. It's just freaking, you haven't unlocked the vault.
I think being deceiving. I think being deceiving. It comes back to being dishonest and deceiving with others. You know how they say, if you lie to others, you lie to yourself. If you steal from others, you're really just stealing from yourself. If you talk shit about others, you're really just talking shit about yourself, right? You know, all that kind of stuff. Like, I actually really think that, like, deceiving people is what closes your own eyeballs to truths. You know what I mean? And I think that or perspectives, to use your point. And when it, you know, when that comment is made about people don't have the capacity, you know, they don't know, or they don't have the capacity. I think those blinders comes from them being deceptive themselves. You know what I mean? And that's actually almost like cowboy code. Like, if the person can't see the signs, if they can't see it, if they can't read the room, if they can't notice what's going on, you can't trust them. You know what I mean? You really can't. They're a liability for some reason. You know what I mean? So, like, I was told that as a little kid. If you notice somebody who's just doesn't know what's going on, you know what I mean? They're really, really don't have any conversations around them. You know what I mean? Of anything kind of important.
If you really look at it, life is just I think life is just a whole combination that you need to lock to open up. And, like, I mean, for me, right? Like, I was helping people before all of this. You know, I was a good person. And, you know, I did all these good things and blah, 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 blah. So I'm here stacking up my list, my combination. I got this right. 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 And then I'm on, like, the fucking final two numbers to fucking unlock fucking my purpose. And I fuck up. And then I got to go all the way back to the beginning again and fucking spin all the numbers again. You know what I mean? So it's like, this, you know, like, let's just put it into perspective. Like, you could have, like, the biggest freaking blah 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 piece of shit, right? But, you know, they go through and, like, okay, so they start changing, right? So they start going to church, so that's one combination. You know, they start working out, there's another combination. They start helping out people, another combination. And they start lying to themselves, boom, combination fucking broken, try again. You know, I think that's what it is. Like, I look at it for myself, and I just, like, I'm like checking all the boxes, and then, you know, it's those days where you're like, I'm doing so good. Why did this happen to me today? Why did this happen to me today? You know, fuck, like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? It's like, you must have fucking done something. Let's look back. Let's start the combination again.
Well, okay, let's put it this way. This is a great analogy, and I just thought about this. When you're standing at a massive vault, what's behind the door is darkness, complete darkness. It's fucking pitch black. Okay. And when you crack that vault and open that door, there goes the light, goes in there and opens it up, right? To all your tools, to all the goodness, to everything that's there to walk into. So open the vault to the light. Because behind that vault, that fucking big thick door is dark, straight, fucking pitch black darkness. And that's, I just brought this up today, and I think it's fucking an awesome analogy how to look at personal development. You know, even if you crack that door open a little bit, and then at least you have the combination. And you even if, like, when are you going to open up the door the whole way? You know, it's crazy. Because it is a combination to life. It's a combination to life to work on that light, to letting the light in, right? So, man, I mean,
I love the vault thing, but I don't like the vault has darkness in it. I think the vault has the light in it, and I'm in the darkness. I just want to make that point. And you know what? And fuck this vault. Fuck this vault. Gate, man. There's a gate. It's a gateway to Valhalla. and I need the combination. So, yeah.
Yeah, you.
So, anyways, getting
you-
past that, so
Yeah.
we're going back to this list. Admire, like I admire someone that has perspective, is very neutral to new ideas. Like, you know, I think religion is good for a lot of people because, you know, they do see it as a perspective. So they can take the good things of this, the good things of that. It's when they're like so ensconced with the Z Patrick word there, in their like their way is the high, like the only way, and then that's when religion starts dividing. Like even in the Bible, it was said that they, you know, they gave everyone, everyone was speaking the same language and everyone was exactly the same, and God came in and was like, "Fuck you." Bam, and fucking spread everyone. So now everyone has different languages, everyone's different colors, and they separated them. And that's when they were supposed to figure out we can still get along. We just got it. We're just on our own. We're in our own villages. We're in our own paths. And so I like that. Like, I think everyone needs to realize that there is a higher power. If you believe in, you know, dogs, you believe in chipmunks, whoever fucking God it is great. Just believe that there is a higher power there, and, you know, just be open to other people's religions. I mean, I've said it before. I grew up freaking really racist because I didn't understand other people's religions. I didn't understand this or that. And on the same time, I was told, you know, like, fuck these guys, these are this way, you know, stereotype, stereotype, stereotype. And my best friend is Sikh, and he opened up a whole nother world to how they do their things. Like, you know, I get guys that come in with these crazy nice cars, and you know, everyone talks shit because they're like, oh, mommy daddy bought that for you, mommy daddy bought that for you, you know, and that's their culture. Mommy daddy, they have money, blah blah blah. And I thought the same way before, and then I really broke it down, you know. And what happens is these guys turn a certain age, and if they've done well their whole life and they deserve that car, dad goes out, family goes out and buys that guy the whatever car he wants. It doesn't matter what the hell it is, whatever car he wants. He pays for anything else on top of that. But that car gets taken the freaking way if you don't fucking keep going in life and succeeding at shit. So, you know, these guys, that's why these guys all have grocery stores. And this is why they, you know, they're dentists and doctors and all that, is because dad bought them a Maserati at freaking 16 when they got a freaking license. But it was brought to them that you guys can have the best fucking things in life, but you have to earn your keep to keep them. And so these guys get this nice car at 16, but their family is so into them that, you know, like, keep going, keep going. You go to college, you finish your dentist school, you finish your doctor's school, and then you have this and more at the end. And then it just gets passed down the line. Then, you know, they grow up and they pass it along, pass it along. That's how things grow. So that's what I see about, like, that's the person I admire, is being open to other people's ideas, open to other religions, higher powers. The other thing was show through action, not through talk. So, you know, do what you're gonna say, don't say what you're gonna do. But again, you have to be open to other ways. So, you know, we have our ways that we do things, getting up early, doing this, doing that. And people that come along and want to change their life in this personal development, maybe getting up early is not a thing that's ever going to happen for them, you know, but they still do everything else during the day. And they're still working on themselves and whatever. If they have a couple beers or something, and that's the way they do it, but it's not, how do you say, they're not overindulging, you know? So, like, I think anything in life, there's, you know, like, they have like weed and mushrooms, and like all this stuff was put on this fucking planet for some sort of reason, right? And it's in moderation. So, you know, if you mix this and this and this, you know, that's what helps you out. You chew on a freaking leaf, it helps you out with this. Like, I think there's a lot to it, but it's when we take it completely in the wrong way and start freaking going crazy on the shit, that's when the problem is. And then I mean, my purpose is to help others. So, helping people is my pleasure. It's if I like, literally, if I'm feeling down, I'll start calling people or friends or something and checking in. And if I get one person or something that I can have a great conversation with and help them with, and talk about how we are here. We're all helping each other every day, and that's what that's what gets us all excited for the day. And then, I mean, so there you go. The person that I admire is someone that takes action, who has purpose, perspective, all of it comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I have the same thing, Kevin. As soon as I am in my head too much, and then I put myself around other people, bam, I change instantly. It's an almost instant change.
Absolutely.
It just that's how it works with me. I noticed that I'll be like, I don't even want to be around people, and then as soon as I am, that goes away, and I'm like, yeah, there's nowhere else I would rather be. It's funny how it works. See,
Comfort,
it's self.
comfort and discomfort.
It's yourself getting in the way. It's that little bit of darkness of self. But the truth is, when I am around people, I change into a better person. I believe. So
Oh, that's true. My worst moments are when I'm by myself.
yeah,
You know,
me
that's what I'm
too.
saying. And it's that's where music therapy really comes in play, right? Because you're sitting there and you got your thoughts. I mean, I used to be so busy with life and have so much shit going on that I drove everywhere and I never listened to music. It was dead silence in my truck. And I was like, this is because I need to think up for anything. This is because I need to fucking think about everything. And all it did was freaking destroy me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when I changed my whole way of thinking on that, like, you know what, I'm gonna get in my truck. Like, I'm either gonna be learning or I'm gonna be fucking dancing. I'm not fucking gonna be listening to my fucking self in my head no more because I'm a fucking idiot if I'm left with myself. So
Yeah. Well, and I think
Yeah.
understanding, understanding people and their backgrounds and where they're at, putting yourself in other people's shoes too, putting yourself in their shoes and understanding where they're coming from. I think that's a huge thing, and to really look at that, to really process and say, hey, where are you at? You know what I mean? And put yourself in other people's positions,
Yes.
and,
All right,
and
Patrick.
and work on that. Yeah. Go ahead.
You keep going back to empathy. So I went through my quote notes, and I want to read a quote about empathy. This is a good one. All right. It says, in my view, the best of humanity is in our exercise of empathy and compassion. It's when we challenge ourselves to walk in the shoes of someone whose pain and plight might seem so different than yours that it's almost incomprehensible. That's
Wow.
empathy. That's
Incomprehensible.
compassion and empathy. And they're out there. Their pain and plight is so great, you can't comprehend it, But,
Wow.
but to try to help these people, that would be the keys to fulfillment and happiness right there, whose pain and plight is so great that it's almost incomprehensible. It's out there.
That's a big word.
Incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
can't even wrap your mind around it. That suffering, that pain.
I can't even
yeah.
spell it.
But that's another issue.
Are you saying that I have issues?
Oh man, don't we all act accordingly?
Don't we all? Don't
Yeah.
we all?
Yeah.
Don't we? Sure. But reaching out, and just reach out and talk to people about what's going on. Don't hold it in. Don't hold it in. just whatever you're thinking. If it's a uneasy feeling, an uneasy state or whatever, just talk about it, And after you get an answer and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. This person's feeling the same way at times, And
Yeah.
it's like,
I think
okay,
that's
yeah,
super important to fire it off like instantly, because then it grows, right? Like if you have a bad thought in your head about something that was said, and then you sit there and you like me being in my truck. I could get in my truck and listen to that one word you said when I left, and by the time I get to my shop, I'm ready to turn around and come back and beat your ass in. So you gotta burn that shit down before it starts taking over your life, taking over.
yeah, it'll fester. It
It'll
festers.
fester, Uncle
Yeah.
Fester.
Yeah, I read something about the difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is when you can identify with the person's thoughts, right? But empathy is when you actually become that person. You know,
Whoa. Whoa.
you're like,
Hey, Aaron, no, that's fucking frightening. That's
Well,
but that's
that's
standing
it
in
was
their shoes, right? That's
yeah,
that's empathy, you know.
yeah, that is. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, I could go on with this book a little bit, and then we could torch past this last little bit. All right, so he says, so I started off just wanting to be swole, superficial as fuck, but I graduated into working out for life, knowing that it does something for me. It, one, raises my rate of vibration. Two, creates a high level of PMA, which is positive mental attitude. Three, aligns me with the day. And four, puts me on a great path mentally. So he went from it being superficial to him being committed to it for life. You know, committed for life. I mean, that's huge. And I just know that I feel the difference of like I feel lethargic and then I work out and it goes away. And then I feel alive. It's just amazing how that switch is flipped. The raising the rate of vibration. I may walk into the gym with that negativity, but I never leave with it. You know, I never leave with it. I flip it. I change it. It's
Hey,
gone.
fellas, I gotta dip out. I gotta take a call. Sorry to interrupt
All
you.
right, Aaron.
Gotta take a
Have a
call.
great day, bud.
Hey man,
Yep. Talk to you guys later. Talk to you on the thread.
hell
Later.
yeah.
Yeah, so let's go around the room real quick and talk about, the rate of vibration, the PMA, the aligning with the day, and mentally correct. Patrick.
I absolutely, honestly, it's getting to the point now where I I love it. I literally love having a good high vibration. I'm huge into music. Huge. I listen to a lot of music. It is I'm high volume. I'm fish for motivation. I go many different electric, hard metal, all over the place. But music is my go-to. Kevin sent me a song the other day called Disconnect. Just an awesome song. Just an awesome fucking song. Vibration. All these songs are just so good. Off the ground. I mean, and it takes you to a different place. It takes you to peace. I like being in peace. You know what I mean? My family is very not at peace. Money changed my family in a very, very, very profound, shitty way. Um, just people are just, entitled, and seen a lot of bad shit with money. Money changes money. It can be the root of evil. It can be the root of evil, right? So, but being in harmony, and kind of sounds a little fruity sometimes, but it's true. It's true. Being just at peace is where I want to be. So that's where I'm at, guys. Wicked meeting. Super happy to be here. It's always a pleasure to come in and work on yourself and to bring people up. And yeah, that's where I'm at, guys. For
Good
sure.
stuff. That's what's up. Good stuff. Brandon, what about you? Rate of vibration, positive mental attitude. What you got on that?
I also live in my headphones. I'm a big music guy. I would say next to that is nature. I'm a big, if I go out into nature for a week, man, I could almost just like, it's tempting not to try to just like jump off the side of a cliff and see if I can actually fly, man. That's just where it's at, dude. If I can get around some horses and especially and cover some distance and or do some running or even an iron horse for a good ride. And then that conversation we had about like being alone, right? And Kevin saying kind of his worst moments were alone. And man, I think there's a real challenge there, and all challenges are opportunities to build strength, right? But I do think, and because it was always really hard for me to be alone, but now I super actually cherish my alone time. So sometimes I just need to be alone. Sometimes I just need to, and so I would say, yeah, the music, the alone time, and the nature, and covering distance. Another thing I do a lot is I'll just move. I'm out, man. Fuck all y'all. I'm going to another city. Even, you know what I mean? You could kiss my ass. And then as soon as I come back, it's all good again, and it's fresh, and it's good to see everybody. I think being somewhat nomadic and having just a little circle of cities maybe close by, or maybe an interestingly strategic cheap plane ride away or whatever, can be a real cool thing too. Just have a few go-to places to go, feeling like a gardener who plants his seed in a few different locations. You know what I mean? I think there's just smarts there. And stacking the wins, man. Just stacking the wins, having as many wins stacked up. We all know those. We get our progress in droplets and we lose our progress in buckets, don't we? So it's like you really want to just feel like if you're maintaining and you didn't leave the house and you didn't get much done, and some days are like that. Some days there's no need. Some days you just got to kind of grow as the tree grows, strengthen your trunk up before you branch out and support all this other life and do all this other stuff. Because if your trunk's not, if you put all that on top of a shitty trunk, well, and lightning does happen, so you might want to take that perspective, as Kevin said, and step away and step with the homies and ask them to conversate with you. That's another big thing. I think a lot of times people have a hard time going to someone. So I have like 10 go-to guys all the time. You know what I mean? These people in the room with me right here, we can all call each other on the side. So I think if you're not in the personal development track, you're making a big freaking mistake. And there's a huge bucket there just ready to drop out at any time. And it will. And I see it happening over and over just because that person wasn't strong enough and they didn't put the work in. And now the blade's not sharp enough to cut the freaking bamboo, man. It's just not. You know what I mean? You can just sit there and shed buckets and get nowhere. And so I think, you know, you have to have some laser aim on what you're doing, and the knowledge does equal power. And I find myself referencing all this knowledge based stuff that we're adding up into our what I call the self-development tips. I mean, you basically are the tips that you know. You know what I mean? If you got enough tips and you got enough tricks, you're essentially James Bond. You know what I mean? So you can't be brought down, right? Because you got too many levers to pull. And so I find my confidence and my learning and all those options also raises my vibration. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I know that just they're doing 100 burpees. It's like
Huh.
now you're at your higher self. Now you're there, and you can whip it out as fast as you want. It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
It's like, how intense do you want it? I know that when I bring the intensity, a freaking positive mental attitude is going to be brought next. I know that. So why not? Kevin, you're up. What do you got on that?
Gonna
Yeah,
quickly say I gotta get going, guys. Thank you very
Oh,
much
all
for
right.
the meeting. My phone's gonna be, yeah, it's almost done here. So thank you very much, guys. Stay on the thread. Talk to you after.
All right, later, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just about to say this is probably the best meeting for me, and the most I have learned about myself and how things are going in the last 30 minutes or so. So this is kind of crazy. You said about you wanting to be by your like you need your alone time in that, and we definitely need our alone time for sure. But I guess what I was trying to say is when you're going through a hard time or whatever, that's when you need to be around people. Actually, I mean, it's different for other people. I'm sure that if you're going through a hard time, that you tend to maybe go and do your own thing. But for me, it's like I call it like it's like the steak death. So like a lot of people die because they go choking. So when
Mhm.
someone starts choking, most people it doesn't make sense, but most people will run and hide while they're choking
Yeah.
because they're embarrassed, and they actually end up dying because they went to the bathroom or they're hiding down a hallway while they're choking because they're embarrassed that they're choking, but they're not asking for help. And I'm a perfect example of that. I mean, I was at my cottage one time and I was choking on a piece of steak and I'm looking at all my buddies and I'm like, holy crap, I'm look like a fucking idiot if I'm choking on this fucking steak in front of them. So I went to the other side of the cottage trying to dislodge it. And it was like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute where I was like, yo, I have a real problem here. Like, I'm going to fucking
Yeah.
die. I come back around the side of the cottage. My face is blue. My friend's like, what the hell is the matter with you? And then like, also blah right out there. So, yeah, I think it's important that when you're choking, when you're choking or drowning in life to get a hand, reach out and get help.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me just say this real quick. There's two modes of being alone. There's solitude and isolation. Solitude is when you're at peace with yourself, but isolation is when you are not at peace with yourself. You're up in your head and you're kind of at war with yourself. So
But you
that's
may
all I
need to
wanted to say.
isolate. You may need to isolate if it gets to the point where society's going to isolate you in a minute if you don't. You know what I mean? Because if you are completely, I'm just saying. For me, when I was ready to kill every fucking person I looked at, and I couldn't stop it, you know what I mean? I know I
You
had to isolate
yourself.
myself, or I did
Isolate yourself
something.
before you incarcerate yourself.
Yeah, and then live with the regret of hurting someone who had nothing to do with anyone. And you see all these douchebags lashing out like that. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I was trying to get gas just a few weeks ago. I was pulling up in gas, and some dude, just because I had a couple muscles, was insecure about how he looked or whatever shit. I don't know what the fuck his deal was. You know what I mean? But he was way
He was
way
testing you.
yeah, way lashing out. And I was like, damn, man, I remember, I remember when maybe I would have felt like that, and I actually asked him, I was like, what happened, man? Maybe I can help you, and I was just like,
Wow.
but all kinds of shit was running through my mind, including should I just, 2 degree
Him up.
down, uppercut,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, real fast, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up? What's that? Bah!
I'm gonna
Sorry,
ring your
dude.
bell,
Sorry,
see?
you had to learn like that. but 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 I just yeah, if it would have been another guy not in self-development, maybe both of them would have just been in jail, and maybe
Yeah.
someone would have been really seriously hurt. And
Yeah.
so that's where I just really appreciate people that work on themselves and do this kind
Yeah.
of thing and want to be their best so that they can help the rest, because we got enough people out here just causing drama. Yeah, great,
Yeah.
cool. Another one.
Yo,
Another fucking
Wes,
one.
can I say one of Wes Watson's saying about fighting? He said when you fight, it's seeking validation from someone that you don't respect in the first place. So you should never be disrespected by someone you don't respect in the first place. Right? Makes
Yeah,
sense, right?
yeah. I've chalked it up to, if bullshit on the ground over there started asking you what time it was, would you tell it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Would you
Yeah,
even
I do.
respond?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like, yeah,
yeah.
like,
They're trying to
but
provoke.
some people really want to get up in your face, and then when you don't respond, they see it as some kind of weakness, and then they go for the attack, right? Because they care about some weird, like you just said,
Yeah,
that validation,
that
there's a
validation. They're trying to
serious
validate.
insecurity under all of that. There is a serious black hole that is eating them, and they're just trying to fight their way out of it in all the wrong ways. And it is, I'm almost thinking, it's almost that very thing, that exact thing that makes these horrific individuals that just nonstop from start to finish just F people over left and right. You know what I mean? I think it's that very same insecurity that they're just like, I don't have faith that I can be a good, upstanding role model that handles their problems professionally, or not professionally, but very, very with character, with a very incredible character and high character. And so I'm just stuck in low mode. I don't feel like I have faith that I can get to that high mode, and I stuck myself at low mode, and I'll
Right,
just deceive everybody and say I'm in high mode.
right, right. Yeah, but you could almost feel it when it's just bullshit. You know.
And I mean, if in a way, just back to that, like being alone, I think also I've had those experiences 1000%, what you were talking about, where you're alone and then you go around people and it completely resets you the right way, and that's important to recognize, like, so you can identify exactly that place, and you know exactly what to do to go get around people, just the same as you know exactly when you're around people and you need to remove yourself before um things things can go wrong. And I guess what I was trying to say is, when either one of those two things are extremely challenging for you to do, once again, opportunity to build strength. And I think, being that
Yeah.
the magic is in the work that you don't want to do, that hard work that builds the strength, there's also like a magic token in there somewhere, right? So I just want to donate to the conversation my magic token of the next level. Definitely, I've gotten so many magic tokens from great groups. Like, this is priceless. And but my magic token from isolation was not a freaking joke, man. Like, that was a score, and my
Yeah,
token of nature too was a score.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, man. Yeah, you lived that. That's I mean, the stuff that you would learn, I can only imagine the shit that you would learn that is so taken for granted and you know, this entitlement in this ungrateful society when you just isolate yourself in nature. I can only imagine what you would learn because I failed myself. I feel it calling to me. I read 8 books on how to hike the Appalachian Trail because I was going to do it. I was dead set on doing it. I never did it, but I have that knowledge from those books that I read on how to do it. And
Einstein says, if you pay attention to nature, you'll understand everything better. It's the most infinitely running system. It's been running for billions of years. It's the most advanced technology we have.
yeah,
It will. If you just stare at it for long enough, dude, it will reset your brain, dude, into genius. I think. I've seen it happen with several people.
I think you're right there. I mean, Einstein seems like a reliable source. As Patrick said the other day.
Maybe.
Patrick said something like that the other day.
Yeah, the other little golden token there that you said was about like the branch, like building up that branch taking too much, and it comes down to this other thing because I've always tried to figure out like like I had a lot of struggles and I grew my business and then I grew it into something awesome and then everything was going well in my life and then shit started falling off and then by the time I caught myself realizing like what the fuck's going on, like I'm slipping so hard here, I was just like it comes down to not being ready for it. And someone said something about the other day is like giving someone $1,000 or giving someone a couple bucks and seeing how they spend it and if they can handle it. So like God's giving you this success because you've worked for it, but then he's going to see if you can actually earn it or keep it or grow with it, or he's just going to start taking it away again. So it's all just comes down, you start building a bridge. And I'm sorry when because I was going back in my head weeks ago when I was just on like this crazy ass high because I was dialed. I was the happiest I've ever been for consistently in so many days, and all of a sudden, brick by brick, my freaking bridge started collapsing, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like I was doing so good, and I'm trying to put it all together, and I was growing so fast that I had not built my bridge properly yet. So I think it's really important to, take things slowly, build your shit up really strong so that, when you do have all this gold and all this freaking great shit on your back, that you're able to cross that bridge and not start crumbling from all the weight that you just earned.
Yeah, you reminded me of a quote, man. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. So you realize what was wrong. The construction part was off, but looking backwards, you can see that now. So you can change and modify and personify what works,
But you got to take that personal analysis and personal inventory on yourself daily, right? And attack those weaknesses daily, right? And when Kevin's talking about putting together a business, just so the viewers know, he's talking about the baddest ass car shop I have ever seen. With the
right.
High level cars, no joke, man. There's this. You see us in our morning clothes, air conditioning kicked up, all crazy, right? Super Canada called, but these people are James Bond people in here. You heard?
We're gonna have to take this show on the road soon.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Speaking of shows, work, I gotta go get the kids up because I gotta take my daughter to school today to talk to a little boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Character is king, man. Character is king.
That's it. I'll keep my calm, but the fear of God might just do itself. I'll
Wow.
however it happens. All right, guys, take care.
All right,
without-
fellas. Have a good one.
Don't fear God. God's the loving God.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
someone else is to be feared.
Good.
God Club.
I see.
All right, guys, crush it.